Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
Thanks for joining us for Tesla Time News.
Bite-sized.
Sponsored by our friends at the solar-powered hotels in Schaumburg, Illinois, the Fairfield Inn & Suites by Marriott and the Town Place Suite Hotel right next door. They're both solar-powered and they both got EV charging. So Elon's feeling pretty generous. At the earnings call, he decided to give your car more power.
Yeah, and the update just came out, the over-the-air update, and in the release notes, it says your car's power has been increased by approximately 5%, improving acceleration and performance.
Yeah, now that's for Model 3s, but you do get something if you're in a Model S or X. You get, I think it's a 3% according to the earnings call. We'll have to find out. So please comment below if you're starting to see more power, if you can feel it or not. I don't know.
I have not gotten this update yet, but I am excited to.
You know, there's other stuff coming in the update.
Yes.
Scheduled departure. What is that?
So this is a really cool feature. If you're going on a trip where you need to charge your car up to max or close to max, you don't want to leave it at 100% charge overnight.
Right, bad for your battery.
Not good for your battery. So it's okay-ish for your battery to charge to 100% and then pretty much immediately start discharging.
Okay.
And so this feature, this new feature, allows you to schedule your departure time. You say, okay, everyone, we're going to leave the house at 6 o'clock. And then, of course, you set the departure for 6:15 because everyone's going to take a little bit while, has to go to the bathroom and everything.
But wait a minute. This sounds a lot like smart preconditioning, which was taken away and they gave us this instead. So what does this do? This does more?
Yes. I mean, smart preconditioning. So this, in addition to charging your car to full, will also make sure that the car is either warmed or cooled according to whatever you've set the temperature
Gotcha.
to. And smart preconditioning used to just heat your car up or cool it down. This will actually make sure that you are charged to the level that you would like to be charged to, and it won't start charging until that point.
Gotcha.
Another factor that this can do is for places that have two different rates of electricity, like peak rates and off-peak, it can wait until you're charging just on off-peak, so that way you're paying less for the electricity to put in your car because it's off-peak.
And they added automatic navigation. What is that?
This is an interesting feature. It automatically starts navigation routes associated to locations that are in your upcoming calendar events. So like if you were leaving your house in the morning, it would navigate you to work and maybe vice versa when you were coming home. And then if you say had a dentist appointment on your calendar, which was then synced up to your car and you had a location in the Google Calendar to your dentist, it's a little complicated. I don't think most people are going to be using this, but maybe for the really busy, on-the-go kind of people who can't be navigate to Smile Plus Dentistry or whatever the heck your dentist is called. This is for them.
Why did dentists always put a picture of a tooth on their sign?
A whole tooth. It's always...
A smile's good, but I don't need to see the whole tooth.
Yeah, it just makes me think that they're going to rip it out.
So check out this tweet from Elon. Guess how it was sent?
Sending this tweet through space via Starlink satellite.
And then right below it, he's like, whoa, it worked. So let's remind everybody what Starlink is, right? Starlink is a mesh network of satellites connected to each other by space lasers. How cool is that?
Yes.
When fully operational, it will enable internet coverage throughout the world without wires or towers.
And so when we're talking throughout the world, you mean throughout the world. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if there's a road to get to where you are. It doesn't matter if there's a cell tower nearby. It's coming from space. So you just need to not be in a cave.
He tweeted out, Gwyn rocks. Starlink will probably be a little bumpy at first, but then improve rapidly. Yeah, and Elon sent that tweet from his house, which has a Starlink user terminal in it. And he's talking about, of course, Gwynne Shotwell, who is SpaceX's president and COO. She told reporters last week that Starlink plans on launching 6 to 8 launches full of Starlink satellites to cover parts of the U.S. by mid-2020.
She said, we need 24 launches to get global coverage. Every launch after that gives you more capacity.
Now, the FCC has already given approval for 12,000 Starlink satellites, and SpaceX caused a little bit of a stir last week when it asked permission from the ITU, which is the International Telecommunication Union, for 30,000 more.
The ITU is a UN body, and national regulators file on behalf of satellite operators.
So the fact that the FCC filed for SpaceX implies that the FCC has signed off as well. Now, SpaceX deployed its first 60 satellites in May. That was how Elon was able to send this tweet successfully. And Starlink satellites will be orbiting in low Earth orbit at altitudes of 328 to 580 kilometers.
The UN's Office for Outer Space Affairs, which I didn't know existed.
It'd be fun to work for.
I'm quitting this job. Said earlier this year that there have been approximately 8,500 satellites, probes, landers, spacecraft, and cargo craft launched into Earth orbit or beyond since 1957, when Sputnik launched.
Now, if SpaceX launches 48,000 satellites, it will be responsible for a 5-fold increase in the number of spacecraft launched by humanity.
Gwynne Shotwell said we'll continue to upgrade the network until mid to late next year. We're hoping for 24 launches by the end of next year, which means, if you do the math, a global coverage.
So SpaceX received a $28 million U.S. Air Force contract in December of 2018 to test over the next 3 years how the military might use Starlink broadband services. So far, SpaceX has demonstrated data throughput of 610 megabits per second in flight to the cockpit of a U.S. military C-12 twin-engine turboprop aircraft.
Cool. So you can watch YouTube while you're flying a jet.
Yeah. Gwynne said consumers are going to receive a box from SpaceX. We still have a lot to do to get that right. Knowing Elon, he wants everything to be beautiful, so the user terminal will be beautiful.
Shotwell said millions of people in the U.S. pay about $80 per month to get crappy service. She didn't say whether Starlink will cost more or less than $80 per month, but suggested that that would be a segment of the public that the company would target, as well as rural areas that currently have no connectivity at all.
Now, the terminals today are being produced at SpaceX's factory in Hawthorne, California, but Shotwell said that they will be manufactured in mass somewhere else.
And she said that if we do well and make money, there will be competitors. So this is really exciting. I mean, I'm excited for Starlink. I'm excited to have a cabin off somewhere in the middle of nowhere, powered by a Tesla solar roof, have Tesla power walls in the basement, and drive my electric car powered by the solar panels on my lawn, and watching YouTube through the Starlink user terminal hooked up in my cab. How cool, how fun is that? So YouTuber MrBeast was pressured by his Twitter followers and comment section to plant 20 million trees after hitting 20 million subscribers.
That's great.
He teamed up with over 600 YouTube channels to help spread awareness for a campaign to collect $20 million to plant 20 million trees. Now, we talked about planting trees over a month ago on In Depth, specifically the oil boss conspiracy.
Right, we said we could solve a lot of our problems by planting, I think it was over 1 trillion trees.
Yes, we were saying you needed to plant about 1.2 trillion trees to undo 10 years of human-caused carbon emissions. Now, 20 million trees is a worthy goal for a bunch of YouTubers. However, not enough of the videos that I've seen have really gotten into the science of what this is going to do or even why we're doing it. All the YouTube videos that I've seen have just seemed to be like, planting trees is really good, so we should do it. And nobody has said that it's going to be absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is caused from burning fossil fuels.
Why do you think they're not talking about the reason we're doing it?
I have to be honest, I think that it is too controversial for them to bring it up. Well, let's talk about us for a minute. We are constantly talking about climate change. We're constantly talking about electric cars. Most of you out there are aware of it. Most of you believe in climate change. Most of you are driving electric cars because of this reason, putting solar panels on your house, doing something to combat climate change, and also talking to your politicians and all of the other things that you should be doing. And I think that when you're growing a YouTube channel that's based off of some of the stuff that MrBeast is doing, you're not necessarily going to have that audience retention over something as contentious as climate change.
I was really glad to see that MrBeast's viewers pushed him in this direction, because I don't think he would have done it at all if it weren't for that. But I do agree with you. I think he took the easy route, which was to, hey, we're going to do the fun part, which is the planting trees, and not talk about the sad part, which is that our planet is in trouble.
And that 20 million trees isn't the silver bullet solution. I'm not saying that it's not part of the solution. It definitely, 20 million trees is something we need to do, but then we need to do another 20 million, another 20 million, many hundreds of 20 million. It's orders of magnitude off of what the silver bullet solution is. Now, I'm not, and it's not even a silver bullet solution, and that's part of the point here, is by not talking about all of the things that we need to do, right? By not saying, 20 million trees planted is great, but we also have to plant another trillion trees. We also have to stop producing carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels, without talking about all of the different steps from going to your government and demanding that we outlaw the burning of fossil fuels, or at least start to tax it or do something, and also pushing renewable energy and pushing electric cars. You're just putting a little Band-Aid on a bullet wound and saying like, wow, look at us for only, look in your wallet. Oh, you got 5 quarters in there. You can plant a tree. Yes, you can plant a tree for just $1. It's that easy. You don't have to go outside. You don't have to get a shovel. You don't have to get your hands dirty. For $1, you can go to One Tree Planted. There's a ton of sites where you can basically, for $1, get a tree planted. And I encourage you to do that. I'm not saying that is not a good thing to do, but it's not the only thing that we need to do. So if you want to be a part of this, absolutely go for it. But keep in mind that we need to really solve the problem of climate change and not just cheer for ourselves because we donated $5 to something. Thank you so much for joining us on Tesla Time News Bite Size, which comes out every Tuesday. You can watch the full version of Tesla Time News right over here.
Now you know.